Okay. Let's drop that beat. Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy T that was blazing in sports. Yes, of course, I'm back at it representing that low to the fullest. Let's get it. Oh man, we gotta talk about this. Listen, guys, I dropped a minute video earlier today, uh, letting you guys know, breaking the news that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua has agreed to a 2-fight deal. But I have to say this. On the surface, for a lot of people, that looks great. Like icing on a cake, it looks great. But it's so much more involved in this. We have to talk about it. Guys, welcome to the show. I am your host, T-Dub, and here is what's blazing in sports. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back, man. What do you guys think about Shakur Stevenson going out there, known for having a good jab? To me, I knew he had a good jab, but his vicious attack to the body last time, this time out, was something spectacular. Getting a knockout, landing a flush left hand to the body like that, it was crazy. Let me see if I can look up it quick. Let me see, boxing. All right, let me see if I can get you guys just a couple little news things before I dive into this. Get you guys' thoughts on this. Anthony Joshua versus Fury. And what about me? What about me? In the words of Dillian Whyte, is what he's thinking or maybe not thinking. Let's talk about it. So, all right, guys, first news is what we're going to talk about today. Fury versus Joshua. Major hurdles to overcome for the 2-fight deal to be done. Yes, we are going to talk about that today. What else we got here? Okay, that's still the same thing. Andre Ward talks to Shakur Stevenson win. Yes, big win for Shakur Stevenson, guys. Boxing is back. Boxing was back yesterday on ESPN. I watched it live, and you are used to me calling fights. That was a fight that I called. Had to dust the rust off, I have to admit. But definitely go back and check it out. Oh, guys, and as well, Floyd Mayweather said he is coming back to fight, but it would be exhibitions across the pond and have a few fights, exhibition, make some big money. But now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Let me get back to my YouTube real quick. Where we at? Shout out to my boy Frank West in the building. Says, what about Wilder? Excuse me. What's up, big dog? Salute to T-Dub. What's blazing family? Brenan says Fury will win by KO. We're going to talk about that. Daniel. Is it pronounced Daniel or not Daniel? Is it Denalio? I don't know. I don't want to butcher it. But that's after Wilder beat Fury in the third fight, right? Hey, let's go. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about my homie, the underrated darkness in the feeling. How you feeling, family? How you doing? Hope all is well. That's my boy. Boxing is back. Thank God. Boxing is back. Boxing is back. T-Dub telling you that boxing is back. All right, guys, let's get into this. I did a video. Matter of fact, let me show you. In case you guys didn't see the video I did earlier. You know what? Let me go to my own page. Let's see if I can do this. Here we go. There we go. Hold on, guys.
Hello there. I'm just after getting off the phone with Daniel Kinahan. He just informed me that the biggest fight in British boxing history has just been agreed. Get up there, my boy! Big shout out, Dan. He got this done. Literally over the line. 2-fight deal. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua next year. One problem. I just got to smash Deontay Wilder's face right in the next fight. And then we go into the Joshua fight next year. So there we are. The Gypsy King versus AJ is on for next year, but there's a hurdle in the road called the Bronze Bomber, aka the Knockout King, and I will get onto him and knock him spark out, and then we go on to the big fight. So big thank you, Dan. for getting this deal over the line. All the best. God bless you all. See you soon. Peace out.
Bam! All right, guys, you heard it there from What's Blazing the Sports Channel. If you didn't see it, please do me a favor. After this video, go back and give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and watch it. But now, let's get to this right here. Let's get to this right here, guys. There is so much I think is wrong with this picture. So many things that make me think that you're trying to line things up before you have all your ducks in a row. You're counting your chicken before the eggs hatch, if you get what I'm trying to say. And there's a lot of contradiction going on here, guys. To be honest, I don't know where to start. I saw this morning, put the video, put it out there. I've been working, right here, not here, but right here on my daily stuff. And I just couldn't wait to go live to talk to you guys about this. For a lot of people on the surface, it looks great. A UK showdown. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Yay! 2-fight deal. They come to an agreement already, guys. Both fighters probably going to make a stupid amount of money. Tyson Fury is taking down for actually getting this done. But he already said one thing. There's a huge hurdle. You're damn right it is. Because here is a huge hurdle that they got to get through. Anthony Joshua has to beat Pulev, who he's scheduled to fight. Many people has him picked to win. So do I. Tyson Fury has to beat Deontay Wilder. Now, some people are going to say, well, the second fight was so lopsided, he's just going to go in and do the same thing. Come on, guys. You know they don't work that way. You know it doesn't work that way. We saw the second fight. We saw what led to everything went the way it went to. Come on, guys. If you think lightning gonna strike twice the exact same way, you're dumb. That's a big hurdle. But now let's get to some contradicting part about this. Now there's a guy that's in a picture over there. No, not the two Joshua and Fury, but the other guy over there, the one that's looking like he's pissed off and after drinking a 6-pack of Bud Light, Miller Lite, or something with a lot of yeast in it. Talking about Dillian Whyte. What about me? What about me? Dillian Whyte has been saying, I've been waiting 300 days, 600 days, 900 days to get his shot at the WBC title. WBC has said that, hey, the winner of Fury Wilder has to fight Dillian Whyte in February of next year. Now, all of a sudden, we are hearing that, listen, that's not going to happen. How can Tyson Fury fight Deontay Wilder the back half of this year? In some kind of way he wins. He already has a 2-fight deal with Joshua already done. 600 days. Listen, man. Something is up with this. What's going on? Listen, either Dillian Whyte is getting screwed with the finest of drill bits there is, or he agreed to it, which means now you got to ask yourself, why would you agree to step aside for any kind of reason to let Fury versus Joshua when you never wanted to step aside? You complain it every minute of the way about getting your shot at Deontay Wilder. 300 days, 302 days, 600 days. Eddie. Well, tell you right now, Dylan, everybody, including me, is going to be listening to your very next public words when I ask you your thoughts on this. Either you agree or you're getting screwed, man. They turning that drill bit to the right super tight. You must not be liking it. See, there could be a couple things going wrong. They could have went to the WBC. Hey, tell the WBC, I know, Dillian Whyte is a mandatory. Remember, this is not Deontay Wilder's people. This is probably your own people. Your own people who you've been saying, Eddie, 600 days. They probably went to the WBC. So listen, this whole corona thing, COVID-19, has pushed everything back 3, 4, 5 to 6 months. I think we should push Dillian Whyte's mandatory back 6, 7 months, maybe even a year. That is the only way that if you don't agree to it, that Joshua and Fury can already agree, pretty much have everything done, have Tyson Fury cheesing like he hit the Powerball, and he didn't even buy a lottery ticket to hit it. But we got to talk about this, man. American Patriot Travel in the building says smash the like button, observing stuff interesting. Listen, man, very much so. Listen. This right here is crazy. See, now I want to get to some contradicting points in this, right? Now, look at this. Look at this. Tyson Fury said that his team, Top Rank, Matchroom team with Eddie Hearn, have come to an agreement to fight for undisputed necks, depending on if Fury gets past Deontay Wilder and Joshua gets past Pulev. It's already a done deal. But now let's get to some BS that a lot of fans who took up for Matchroom and Eddie Hearn during these times should be asking yourself, who really didn't want to make that fight? Now, I got an article, I put it up on Boxing Scene back in May, I believe, maybe 2018, when this was actually published, the one I have up over there. Deontay Wilder said this: I will fight Dillian Whyte next. Mandatory or not, I will fight him next if you put Anthony Joshua in contract. Eddie Hearn said, no, I can't do that. You fight Dillian Whyte, and then after that, we'll talk about fighting Anthony Joshua. Even though Wilder said put him in contract, Eddie Hearn said he's not going to do that. Anthony Joshua is already signed the fight. He's now going to make a deal until Fury to Joshua has already fought his fight. Then he'll make that deal with Deontay Wilder. Well, we fast forward to now. Joshua is already signed to fight Pulev. Has not fought Pulev, actually nursing an injury. But yet he already agreed to fight Fury in 2 fights. 2 fights. He won't agree to fight Deontay Wilder in 1 fight or 2 fights. When Wilder said, I'll fight Dillian Whyte and then fight if you put Joshua in contract. He said, hell no. We're not going to do that. Even though we knew that they would do that, because when Joshua, I can't remember who Joshua beat. It might have been Tagum. I can't remember. And as soon as he beat him, Klitschko came in the ring because the deal was already done, which means we know that they would do deals before Joshua current contract was already up, before it's up. We know that because it happened with Klitschko. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, they wouldn't do it. Listen, guys, I've been saying this for a while. Dillian Whyte was used just as a stooge. He was used just to cause confusion. Think about it. He hit the scene. Let's go, Wilder. Let's go, Wilder. 600 days, 300 days. And he wasn't even a mandatory. Dillian Whyte actually got exactly what he wanted to. He wanted to fight for the silver WBC belt. He got the silver WBC belt. He was ranked number 1, but being ranked number 1, like the chairman or the president of WBC has said, that does not guarantee you to be mandatory. And they also said that we offer Dillian Whyte several times to fight to be the mandatory. He turned them down. 300 days, he wanted his shot. 600 days, he wanted his 900 days. 2000 BC, he wanted his shot. And now all of a sudden, he's about to get screwed. He about to get, when your 2020 license plate is out, and you've been out for about 3 or 4 months, ducking, dodging the police. You finally get your new plates with the new date on it, the 22. You happy because you know them plates about to get screwed quick. Ah! So either he agreed to it or he didn't agree to it, and he's getting jacked up. Eddie Hearn, think about this, guys. I want to hear what Eddie Hearn's going to say when asked about Dillian Whyte, because Eddie Hearn kept saying that Dillian Whyte deserves his shot. Dillian Whyte deserves his shot. He's been waiting. He went to WBC. Dillian Whyte deserves his shot. He was trying to talk to the WBC since Wilder was hurt, because I think he messed his arm up in the Tyson Fury fight, that Dillian Whyte should be able to step in and fight Tyson Fury since Wilder was hurt. Now all of a sudden, that's not a concern anymore. Now all of a sudden, we're not hearing 3,000 days. We're not hearing that. What about me, Bob? What about me? And then, guys, a lot of you guys getting so happy. You're counting your chickens, right? You're counting your chicken for your eggs hatch. Now, if you don't know, every chicken egg don't hatch. And you count them before they hatch. See, there are some real hurdles that's already into play right here. Pulev can disrupt things. Deontay Wilder can disrupt things. And if Dillian Whyte is a man, and he don't want to look back, I mean, he don't want to, listen, I reached out to AD, right? AD is a big fan of Dillian Whyte. I said, AD, I'm doing a video. I need you to jump on it ASAP. He didn't comment. AD somewhere probably sitting down with his head down under a pillow, crying to himself. Now, if Dillian Whyte doesn't agree with this, he has a couple options. One, you better get rid of Eddie Hearn ASAP. And you better go fight with WBC about getting your shot. See, even me, I said this. I said, if Wilder beats Fury, I don't mind Wilder fighting Dillian Whyte next. Matter of fact, I wanted Deontay Wilder to get Dillian Whyte's head on a plaque. Put it on the wall like it was a 12-point buck. Be proud of it. I did that. But now we see, guys, that it was all smoke and mirrors. It was all hocus pocus, abracadabra. Dillian Whyte or Eddie Hearn, I don't believe, never believe. If this is true, because I hear multiple sources coming out. I showed you the video that Tyson Fury said it is agreed upon. I believe there's a video out there where Eddie Hearn said it is agreed upon. Which means that Dillian Whyte ever fighting Deontay Wilder, at least in my opinion for Eddie Hearn, is that it was only used to prevent Undisputed. It was only used because Eddie Hearn was like, Dillian Whyte wants his shot. Now all of a sudden, think about this. When Deontay Wilder had the WBC belt, Eddie Hearn said Dillian Whyte wants his shot. Dillian Whyte wants his shot. Dillian Whyte wants his shot. Now Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte wants his shot. Dillian Whyte wants his shot. Even though Deontay Wilder said, listen, I will fight Dillian Whyte next if you put Anthony Joshua in contract. No, I'm not doing it. We're not putting Joshua in contract because he already contracted to have a fight, and we're not trying to put that stress on him. But now all of a sudden, since Wilder doesn't have the WBC belt, since he doesn't have it, now all of a sudden, you quickly working around Dillian Whyte, quickly came to terms for Fury versus Joshua when neither one of these fighters have a clear slate in front of them. Why is it so hard to come? Why was it so hard to come to terms to fight Deontay Wilder when neither fighter had a fighter in front of them? Or if they did have one and Wilder agreed to fight one of your fighters just to fight another fighter and you said no. But now since Deontay Wilder does not have the WBC title anymore, now all of a sudden you can do business. Well, that's what we're here for. Nothing left to do but let's talk about it. Wright just needs to fight one of them. But listen, Ethan, he's getting cut out, bro. Think about this, right? Uh, if Wilder and Fury are slated to fight somewhere around October or November, that's what I'm hearing. October or November. And then after that, Fury and Joshua have agreed to a 2-fight deal to fight basically back to back, which that is going to probably take up maybe all of 21. Dillian Whyte it was said by the WBC for Dillian Whyte to have his shot in February of 2021. How does Dillian Whyte get his shot in February of 2021 if Tyson Fury already has a third fight with Wilder the end of this year and already agreed with a 2-fight deal with Joshua and Fury? How is that? And then Tyson Fury already agreed. You can't just slide Dillian Whyte in there because Tyson Fury said, I have to get over one hurdle. He didn't say two. He said one hurdle. I have to get over the knockout king himself, Deontay Wilder. Like once I get past him, I already have a done deal in place to fight Joshua for undisputed. I didn't hear Dillian Whyte. And you know what could be crazy, guy? You know what could be crazy? I don't know if they're going to do this or not. But what if if Tyson Fury wins? See, I see this more if Fury wins than if Deontay Wilder wins. But if Fury wins, what if they make Tyson Fury a franchise WBC champion? And even though he doesn't have the regular WBC champion, he can still be undisputed if he fought the guy that had the rest of the belts. And they would still make Dillian Whyte probably fight somebody for it. Oh, what I push. Edmund, what's going on? And they did it over the phone too. Bro, it's crazy. Observing self. Salute to Pastor Robert. Yes. I want to call in. Call in, bro. Call. You can call in. 314-884-1013. That's all. What about Usyk? Listen, man. Usyk really doesn't have a claim right now. The only person that really has a claim is Dillian Whyte. Because right now in contract, unless you want to call in, we could talk about it. But you can hear it here as well. Let me charge this phone up too in case you call in. In contract right now, Joshua is in contract to fight his mandatory Pulev. He will be defending 3 of his belts, 3 major belts. I believe he has 4, but 3 major belts against Pulev. And Fury is in contract to fight Deontay Wilder. So to be honest, just think about this. They agreed to a 2-fight deal when each one of them already have fights in place. Now, see, I know a lot of you guys are trying to write Deontay Wilder off because either you hate him, maybe you hate his style, but Deontay Wilder stands a real good chance of taking anybody's heads off. I don't think Fury versus Wilder 3 is going to be anything like Fury versus Wilder 2. Just like Fury versus Wilder 2 wasn't anything like Fury versus Wilder 1. I think it's going to be completely different. I think some of the things that worked against Wilder would not work this time. Listen, for all the things that came out, what could have happened or what didn't happen, it's not going to happen this time around. And they got to get past those hurdles. But then the next man in line, according to the WBC, who has a date or at least a month that the fight needs to happen in, and that's February, and that's with Dillian Whyte. Now, Dillian Whyte is scheduled to have his WBC title shot in February 2021. But his own promoter, Eddie Hearn, the same Eddie 600, 800, 900, the same promoter looks like has worked the deal or worked him out of a deal. The same promoter that has been on the limb about getting Dillian Whyte to fight Wilder for the WBC belt don't seem to have that same energy anymore. It's like getting an Energizer from Walmart or JCPenney compared to going to the dollar store and get like an 8-pack for $1. It's not the same energy anymore. Now all of a sudden that Wilder doesn't have the belt, they quickly come to an agreement, and it looks like Dillian Whyte is worked out of the agreement. How can his fight take place in 2021 if Fury versus Wilder is already going to happen somewhere in October or November? And according to Tyson Fury, after that fight, his very next fight is 2 fights with Joshua. How is it going to happen? Listen, somebody getting screwed. Somebody getting screwed. Most likely, no lubrication was used. Yeah. Listen, man. It's crazy. But we have a 3rd fight with Deontay Wilder. And I'm telling you guys that it's going to be different. See, when you say count your chickens before the eggs hatch, I don't see how anybody can look past Deontay Wilder. Because they saw what happened in the 2nd fight, it's like they automatically assume that's going to happen in the 3rd fight. But these same people that assumed that was the same people that had hope and prayer in the videos and saying that Joshua would bounce back and beat Andy Ruiz. Even though Joshua fight with Andy Ruiz and Wilder fight with Tyson Fury went very similar. Very similar. Andy Ruiz landed a shot in the 3rd round, kind of back of the head of Anthony Joshua. Messed him all up, never recovered. According to his corner, had a concussion. Tyson Fury landed a shot in the back of the head, messed him all up. We saw from that point on, he never was the same. Anthony Joshua took the fight immediately right after that. Boxed well, got the decision over Andy Ruiz. I don't think Deontay Wilder is going to come out there and try to be a slick fighter. I don't think he's going to come out there and reinvent the wheel. But I'm telling you right now, he's going to pay a lot of attention to the people around him, to the things that he's consumed, and a lot of attention to some of you Ripley's, believe it or not, to the gloves of Tyson Fury. Hold on, let's work. Yo, you live with your boy T-Dub. Who's calling? And let's talk about it.
Graham Smith.
Hey, what's going on, homie? Let's talk to me, man. Tell me something good about this.
I think Dillian Whyte needs to go to the TPC or somewhere else.
How do you think about this, man? Like, even though I've made a lot of videos basically talking about Dillian Whyte, I have always said, well, not always, but at least for the last maybe almost year, that I want Wilder to fight Whyte because I want him to take his head off. Eddie Hearn said that Whyte should get his shot as well every time he did an interview. But now all of a sudden, it seemed like his own people has worked him out of the deal that he's been claiming that he's overdue for 900 days. And now all of a sudden, with almost 1,000 days, think about it. By the time he get his shot, if it happens, you're looking at about 1,600 days. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on what's going on with Dillian Whyte and Matchroom and everything else?
So I think he's getting squeezed out of the deal, and I think he should just leave the zone and Matchroom.
You know, I agree, man. But here's the thing, though, is that even though he's going to leave, if he leaves, the damage is done. If he leaves, the damage is done. They are going to push his he'll still be mandatory, but it seems like they're going to push it out probably a year. Now, let's just look at it through a different set of binoculars. What if Dillian Whyte actually agreed to step aside and take step-aside money? What would you think about that? As much as he has been claiming to want his shot with Deontay Wilder not caring about anybody fighting Joshua Undisputed, just wanted his fight so bad. And what is either two things. Either he agreed or disagreed. Now, if he disagreed, we talked about he should leave, blah, blah, blah. But what if he actually agreed to step aside? What would be your thoughts about that move and anything going forward regarding that?
If he took the step aside money, I think that would be me as a boxing fan a disappointment.
Especially, go ahead, keep cooking.
I think people should fight for their right, and I think if he did take a step aside money, that's disappointing because I feel like if he really wanted to fight, he should have fought for his right or just leave.
You know what?
In my opinion,
I agree with that, but to me, it shows some kind of phoniness, like I was saying earlier, because for over 200 and 300 and as many days as they got high, I think it's up to 900 days now. He's been saying he don't care about Undisputed. He don't care about a Wilder fight, Josh. He don't care. He wants his shot at the WBC champion. That's what he's been preaching. Even when Deontay Wilder got hurt in his last fight with Tyson Fury, he said, since he's already hurt, let me step in and fight Tyson Fury for my WBC title. And now all of a sudden, since a deal can be worked out with Fury versus Joshua next, he's willing to step aside.
Well, the only reason I could see him stepping aside is they gave him a good paycheck.
But don't you believe that if Wilder fought Joshua at the height of what it was, that they would have paid Dillian Whyte a huge amount of step aside money?
Not sure.
But see, because Wilder has already paid people step aside money to make fights happen, which means that he will do it. He even talked about when I think when Andy beat Joshua, Wilder wanted to fight and talk about paying Tyson Fury step aside money. So we know that Deontay Wilder will pay step aside money. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I know people have at least stepped aside for Joshua, probably got paid, so Joshua can go on and fight people like Klitschko, so he can fight. Now, Dillian Whyte wasn't willing to take any step aside money, and Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, to be honest, that was a bigger fight than Fury versus Joshua. Even though Fury versus Joshua now is a big fight, it's a huge mega fight in the UK, but it's not a huge mega fight all the way around. When you're looking at if Deontay Wilder would beat Fury and went on to fight Joshua, now you're talking about two major countries that have always been in some type of competition with each other. The United States versus the UK, their best versus our best. That is bragging rights. And Dillian Whyte would step us. You know that would have made a lot of money. You know it would have. It would have made stupid amount of money, and it's been proven by Joshua and Wilder that they would pay step aside money. But according to Dillian Whyte's action, he's not willing to take step aside money when it came to Wilder versus Fury. But now all of a sudden, Fury versus Joshua. I'm saying not Wilder versus Fury, Wilder versus Joshua. But now because it's Joshua versus Fury, what if he's willing to take step aside money? I mean, to me, that means he was all just a pawn from the get-go to prevent Joshua versus Wilder. If now all of a sudden he'll step aside and let Joshua versus Fury for a UK mega bout.
I guess I have to wait and see what Dillian Whyte says on if he got step aside money or not.
If I was him, I'd be, if he didn't take it, let's say he didn't take it, I would be pissed. Even if he took it, because obviously it makes him look bad as a boxer. We don't know exactly, but either way, I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to make sure I'm on his Instagram. I want to know what he's going to say next, because what he says next is going to just sway public opinion. If he took step aside money, why would you let the interest of two other boxers breaking history become a unified champion over your own becoming a champion? Dillian Whyte always wanted his shot. This is his shot. Now he's going to take some money and step aside. Pulev said, I'm not taking step-aside money. They want to pay him step-aside money. Pulev realized, listen, I already got money. At this point, I want to make my mark in the sport. I want my name to be edged amongst the greats and the champions in the professional sport of boxing. If Dillian Whyte if he caters to two other men, best interest for them over his own, it looks fishy. It looks shaky, Brenan. It looks shaky.
Well, I have to wait and see what he says. But if they cut him out or something, I think he should just leave and go to another promotion like the PBC or something.
Yeah, that'd be his only move because he can't go to Top Rank because Top Rank is with Tyson Fury. Or maybe he could because I know Top Rank is put a deal right now. If he does not agree, that's cutting him out. Which means the only big option would be PBC or work out some deal with Showtime, which still kind of works with PBC as well. Now let's jump to this. Or Fury and Joshua counting the chickens before they eggs hatch by already making this deal, and it really looks and appears that they are looking past Pulev and past Wilder. Are they counting the chickens before their eggs hatch?
I think so. I would still say I believe either way, but I believe it'll be a totally different fight, though. In my opinion.
Who will win is definitely up to the opinion. Nobody really knows. We all have our opinion on what may and may not happen. Go ahead, champ.
I think Fury will get a decision. I don't think he's going to KO Wilder the same way. I think he's going to get a decision.
I think it's going to be a totally different fight. I think everything that went wrong, most people that saw that fight, even as dominating as Tyson Fury was, most can agree that even before it got there, it didn't look like the same Wilder. For whatever reason, he didn't look the same. Fury did what he needed to do. We saw what happened. It happened. I really think it's going to be a different fight. Doesn't mean it's going to be an easy fight. No, because Fury still can fight, and Wilder is a dangerous man. But I think it's going to be a completely different fight. And listen, it's a 50-50 fight. I'm being honest. After watching the first fight and the second fight, I think it's a 50-50 fight. If I had to pick my money, I'm going to pick it that Deontay Wilder probably going to be a little bit more aggressive to probably land that right hand and not allow Fury to do some of the things he done the first time.
I think Fury is going to – I think he's going to be elusive, but I think he's going to use the crunch style in first.
But here's another thing. Even though I like the crunk style, their thing is to go for the knockout. I get that. But have you ever in Tyson Fury seen a fight that his power increased so much in one fight like it did against Deontay Wilder? Never been a knockout artist. Hit people, even when he had Otto Wallin. I believe he had him. Oh no, or was it Tyson? What's it? I call him shirts and shorts. Guys, Tom Schwartz. I think Tom Schwartz. He had Tom Schwartz in the corner, and he was welling on him several times in a row with a right hand to try to drop Tom Schwartz. And he just not displayed that power when he was putting pressure on Tom Schwartz, just swinging away. And now all of a sudden he fights Deontay Wilder, and he has crazy power. What you think will contribute to that?
I don't think he has crazy power. I just think that from the first Fury fight, from that first Wilder Fury fight, I did see moments where Wilder got kind of buckled a couple of times. But I think the idea for the second Wilder Fury fight, I think that's where, if I remember correctly, Ray Roach said that the best way to beat Wilder was to get up close. And I think Ricky Hatton said that as well. But I think Wilder, I don't think he has a bad chin. I just think that he doesn't like it when people get in close to him.
Say that last little bit one more time for me. The last sentence.
I don't think Wilder likes it when people getting close to him.
When it comes to the fight, even in the first fight, it went 12 rounds. The first fight, by most people and even boxers, people agree or disagree that the gloves look a little bit floppy. I don't know if Wilder was ever buckled by a right hand in the first fight, but I think it was more by the left hook, which was the glove that was bending over 90 degrees backwards. I think a lot of people have been seeing that, and it doesn't look natural. And some people contribute that he got this much power because he went to the crunk style, and instead of boxing, he went for the knockout. Do you believe that that could contribute to possibly increasing that much power like that? Because this was clearly a visual effect from him really hurting Wilder in the third round to 12 rounds the first time and not having that success.
No, I think Wilder. I just don't think that Wilder does very well to a style like the Trump. I don't think it has a lot to do with his power. I don't think that Wilder has the greatest chin in the world, and I don't think he likes it when someone gets close. But I personally think that Wilder's power comes from the end of his punches. And I think Wilder needs to work on his jab so he can keep a distance.
Now, how can you say that Wilder does not have a chin? A guy that never lost and fought. Luis Ortiz is actually known being a big knockout puncher that many people won't fight to this day, including Dillian Whyte, and known for being a big puncher. Fought Stavern when Stavern actually had a name for himself. And a lot of these people, so you said people, he don't like people being in his face. I believe most fighters that he fought tried to put pressure on Deontay Wilder. And it just didn't happen the same. What would make you think that he has a suspect chin when he has no losses? And arguably outside that fight, I don't believe he had a professional been dropped. I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't remember.
He been dropped in his amateur career, and he's been dropped one time in his early days, I believe.
Has Tyson Fury ever been dropped?
Steve Cunningham dropped him.
So did that mean he has a weak chin too?
I think he has I don't think he has the greatest chin in the world. I think he has a decent chin for a heavyweight.
Has Anthony Joshua been dropped?
2 or 3 times, if I can remember.
So does that mean he has a weak chin too?
I think he has a weak chin.
So you saying anybody that's been dropped has a weak chin. And honestly, let's look at Deontay Wilder. From what we've known from him in his professional career, when Tyson Fury dropped him, was that considered a legal blow that actually dropped him?
I would say so, but I would also say it's up to the ref.
Well, it's up to the ref to do something about it, but in the handbook of boxing, is a punch behind the head considered a legal blow?
I would say yes, but Fury is a dirty fighter. I don't know if people know that, but he's a tricky.
But so you said that's a legal blow. You said that's a legal blow.
The first knockdown, yes.
I wish I had my, I fought amateur, and I found my old amateur handbook.
I will say this though. I believe that if Fury and AJ is going to happen, I believe Fury has to knock AJ out in order to win. Because I personally believe that a lot of AJ's fights, the judges are in his corner.
You know what? Maybe, but you saw how fast they turned on Anthony Joshua when he did his speech to stand up for Black Lives Matter. They have turned on him They download, they dislike his videos. Uh, listen, we were first of all, we don't know what's going to go there, and we're going to see if he can get them back on his team. But let me go back to that shot. Now it is up to the referee.
Remember in the Ruiz and AJ fight, the scorecards were very funny in that fight.
The score, right. But remember, that was before Anthony Joshua did his speech and talk about Black Lives Matter and things like that. To now, they are talking about him, they disliking him, they're dissing him, they're talking about how he fell from top to the bottom. Like they are going, a lot of his supporters have flipped on him, and in my opinion, would have preferred him just to stay silent and not speak out about it. But listen, we don't know if they're going to transition to this fight, assuming if they get past their hurdles.
I'm going to say that I've been to the UK a couple times. They're going, and I got to kind of feel how they roll over there. But I think they're going to stick by him. And I think Eddie Hearn is going to do whatever it is to help AJ because that's his cash cow.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to...
I'll still say that Billy has to knock him out in order to win. I don't believe they're going to give him a decision unless it's lost by him.
To be honest, I don't even think it's going to take place in the UK if it does happen. I think it's going to be for a stupid amount of money somewhere else. But let me go back. I want to touch on your...
UK people are going to demand it.
They'll try, but the money might speak. I want to go back to, and I want the people to definitely understand what's legal and what's not considered a legal shot. It's just like this here. If you watch somebody boxing and they get punched directly in the nuts, now just because the referee let it go, does that make that a legal shot? Yes or no?
I'm not a fighter, but I would still say it's illegal.
Illegal. You're right. It is illegal. Even though
I would say that Wilder's team has prepared him to fight a dirty fight.
I don't think so. I don't think so because remember, sometimes if fighters are favorite, somebody can get away with it while another person can't get away with it. I don't think you should fight dirty because a lot of times if they're going to get who they want to get, or they're going to always get the second man to do it. A lot of times the first person does it, it's not the one that get caught doing it. Just like, let's say if Fury would have hit Wilder in the back of the head, Wilder would have returned the favor, he probably would have been the one they got one or got a point taken away from. Now, to go back to the weak chin thing, I don't see how anybody can say Deontay Wilder has a weak chin. And far as I can remember, I don't remember boxers trying to outbox Deontay Wilder. I think most of the fighters came forward to try to beat Deontay Wilder, just like Luis Ortiz. Hold on, give me a second. Just like Luis Ortiz went forward, putting the pressure, trying to knock out Deontay Wilder, winning 6 of the first and the second 5 rounds, landing big left hands and shots on Deontay Wilder before getting christening and getting knocked out. I don't think Wilder is afraid of pressure and doesn't do well with pressure. Everything started, in my opinion, when he got hit in the back of the head. The same with Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. When Andy Ruiz landed his money shot, it was a shot that was kind of back of the head, kind of like the behind the ear shot, and it messed up his equilibrium. That's why this shot is illegal in the boxing. But now it is up to the referees to do something about it, which is why having the right referee is so important. Who will let you fight, who will let you hold, who won't let you hold is very important. And that's why when Wilder got hit, even the referee admitted that the first knockdown was a shot that was due to the back of the head. Wilder looked up and held his shot to the back of the head. Now, can you agree that after that shot, Wilder was never the same, had any offense from that shot to the rest of the fight?
I would agree to the 2 rounds after that, but I would still say I don't think he was properly prepared to fight an inside dirty fight.
Well, no one should be prepared to fight a dirty fight, but sometimes I understand you have to get dirty if you have to. But can we agree that after Fury landed a shot in the third round in the back of the head that made Deontay Wilder fall funny to the canvas? He felt funny. That after that, Wilder was never the same again for the rest of the fight.
I think Fury felt okay before that.
No, he did not. No.
I heard. He kind of had him stunned at the end of the second round.
No.
But I believe the back of the head shot messed him up pretty bad.
So, because he landed a back of the head shot, and that is the only shot that most of us can remember, unless you go back to Deontay Wilder's amateur career or maybe somewhere early in the professional career, that up until that point, Deontay Wilder has proven to have a good chin. Remember, he doesn't have great fundamentals, which means he is hittable and he does get hit. The real difference is he can deliver a bigger punch than you can. He has a better chin than you have that can stand up to his right hand. Now, when it comes to the third fight, do you think they're going to rely on that same illegal shot, or would Deontay Wilder be better prepared for it? And the referee will be informed to watch out for it and make a call in case it happens.
I don't think the fight's going to go down that way. I think Fury is going to use dirty tactics, but I don't think he's going to necessarily bull rush Wilder right away.
You know what I think? I think the third fight is going to be good.
He's going to fight him in first.
Say that one more second.
But I will say this: I do believe that Wilder's power comes from the end of his punches.
I think if Wilder catches you right, I think we have seen him display the straight right hand, which is the money maker for sure. But the actual shot that put Ortiz out in the first fight was a counter right uppercut. The shot that initially hurt Tyson Fury in the first fight in the 12th round, that was a left hook.
I think he has a decent chin, but I don't think it's the best chin.
I mean, when you looking at heavyweights, it's hard to listen. Heavyweights have some big punches, and so forth. Deontay Wilder has stood up to a test and fought anybody he can fight and took their shot. He doesn't have the best fighting stance. He get caught with shots. They fought 12 rounds before. Even though, in my eyes, Deontay Wilder does look like he gets buckled with his legs, but he never goes down. Remember, when he fought Ortiz had him in a whirlwind for about a minute and a half, and he never went down. He had him in a whirlwind, and then came out 2 rounds later to flatline Ortiz. And the only real time that we seen Deontay Wilder hurt was when he got hit in the back of the head shot. And no matter what landed after that, it was the effect of landing the back of the head shot. And I don't think that's going to happen next time around. Or if it does, the referee better be on top of it.
I will say that on the front style, is a weakness to Deontay Wilder. I will say that.
I can't agree with that. I don't think the crunk style can take a fighter that's not known for having power and all of a sudden make them a better fighter and have them get a knockout ratio. That's like saying if Paulo Malignaggi, who is known for a boxer with not that much power. Think about this. Tyson Fury and Paulo Malignaggi had a lot in common. Neither one of them is known for having power like that. And all of a sudden, Paulo Malignaggi go work with the Crunk Gym. Now he's going to be stopping people like Sean Porter, Earl Spence Jr. I just don't see it happening. I think it was more to it.
I have to somewhat disagree with that. I do agree with some of a totally different fight.
I agree with that. All right, thank you, my friend. I like calling in, man. Do a little bit further sport. I really agree to it. I really appreciate it. I do agree with you. I think it's going to be a different fight. I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I do believe it's going to be completely different. I think it's going to still be a 50-50 fight. If I have to pick my money on it, I think that Wilder will probably catch him somewhere around the 8th or 9th round at this point and probably put him down again. I don't think Fury.
No, I would like to see Wilder be more jabs to the body. I think he has a good jab.
He does have a good jab, but that's not what got him in trouble. I think he needs to work on defense a little bit more. And honestly, I think the real important job in the second fight is going to be on the referee. It's like you said. You said you think Tyson Fury is going to be a little bit dirty. If he landed that back of the head shot in the second fight, I can see him trying it again. Not every time out, but what he needs to know is he only needs to land one clear one back there to put him in a lot of trouble. At the worst case scenario, he might get a point taken away or he might get a warning. Either way, the damage will be done, and he can try to hope for a repeat of the second fight.
All right.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the call.
All right.
God, that's my boy Breenan, man. I like to talk a little bit. I appreciate. Listen, I love when people call, man. I love when people really disagree more. It makes us think, makes us see things that even if we still stand our ground and never really agree, at least it gives you guys a little bit more out there. Von D Gaming in the building says, wow, they ducking Wilder. No, they're not ducking Wilder, champ. They looking over Wilder. TC Jacobs said, what happened to Wilder versus Fury 3? All right, let's get to that work then. I know I was rapping my boy Breenan. Shout out to him, man, in the chat. I appreciate it. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua has agreed to a 2-fight deal. Now, there's a few things that's in the way. One, Fury still has to fight Deontay Wilder. For all you guys that acting like Deontay Wilder is 3'4" and you guys are 6'5" and you're looking over him, I'm telling you right now, you're making a huge mistake. Fury still has to fight Wilder. Probably somewhere between October and November this year. Joshua still has to fight Pulev sometime this year. On top of both of them guys having to get over them hurdles, and I'm telling you right now, I don't care what you think you saw or you did see in the second fight versus Fury versus Wilder. That's not going to determine the third fight. If you believe that, you're just not smart. You're just not smart. Breenan Smith said, I got Fury in the third fight, but even he agreed it's going to be a different fight. He's not going to go that way again. He's not going to donkey punch him in the back of the head, lean on him in the back of the head, hold him in the head, lock, uppercut. That's not going to happen like that. If so, the referee needs to be fired. Because this is what's going to happen. Wilder is going to take everything that was done and learn from the second fight and make sure it doesn't happen, make sure people are aware to prevent it from happening in the third fight. When they get their final instructions in the dressing room, the referee is going to go to Tyson Fury camp. He's going to tell them what he's going to look out for. I don't want to see none of this. I don't want to see no land on him. I don't want to see that. When you have a referee that is looking out for that, it will get called out, pointed out a lot sooner when it first happened. Fury versus Joshua in the UK, that is a huge mega fight. I agree. It's big. For UK, it's Christmas. It's Christmas every day for a week. It's Christmas. Because you got UK wins. Even if you side with Fury, you side with Joshua, UK wins. And I'm not mad at them for wanting that. I would want it. But there's a couple things that stands in their way. One is called the Bronze Bomber, who has a right hand that made two can think about getting Fruit Loops the next day. Another one is Pulev. Now, the one guy there might be getting majorly screwed with no bolts, just screwed. Possibly, if he didn't agree to this, is Dillian Whyte. What about me, Bob? What about me? Dillian Whyte has been claiming 300, 600, 900 days. Ha, ha, ha. When will I get my shot? Eddie, do your job. Eddie, do your job. Eddie Hearn, his promoter, is supposed to be looking out for his best interests. And if you have a fighter that's claimed he's been waiting over 900 days to get a shot at the title, why would you make a 2-fight deal with Fury versus Joshua and skip this man out on his deal when he's been waiting over 900 days? So you're telling me he has to wait for Fury versus Wilder, and then the winner of that not the winner, if Fury wins, he goes on to fight Joshua in 2 more fights, which means he may or may not get a title shot at the end of 21. It may be pushed to 2022. Listen, this was embarrassing, man. If he didn't agree to this, this is called getting royally screwed. Hammered. And this is not a straight in hammer. This is when you're hitting the nail and the nail bends, you're like, F it, and it's sideways, but you just hammer it in the 2x4 anyway. He's getting bent like that. He's getting bent, split, flip, flopped, and just driven to the ground. If he didn't agree. What about me, Bob? What about me? Time will tell what will happen. I got to get ready to take my butt to the gym. Try to get T-Dub back in shape. This is your boy, What's Blazing in Sports. I'm here. I'm live. I'm back at it. Like a crack at it. Giving you boxing geekers this work. Let's talk about it.